connection, and I am riding solo today. Larissa wasn't able to make it with me today, and I am very sad. So Larissa, if you're watching, I'm crying. I miss you. She is away on a prior commitment today, and with that being said, I wanted to introduce you to my guest who's standing in. I won't say he's standing in for Larissa, but this is our guest today. His name is Joe Cower, yes. Correct? Oh, I got it right for the first time. But Joe is the Borough Manager here at the Ambridge area. Well, I guess it's the Borough of Ambridge. Yeah,
the Borough of Ambridge.
Borough of Ambridge. So if you find them on Facebook, it's Ambridge, facebook.com, Borough of Ambridge. And
yes, please like us.
Please like the Borough, because you know what, on their page, what I'm noticing is they're starting to post more things that concerns the Borough. You know, so again, occasionally you see some community events and stuff in there, but you know, today I was able to find about Columbia Gas. So check out the Facebook page of the Borough. But Joe, let's talk about you.
The Facebook page of the Borough has actually been very active. It's been a nice tool from the community to basically get our news out there. We're trying to be very active with it. So if you're on Facebook, please like us, like Felicia said, at the Borough of Ambridge. With that, we're trying to put things out every day or so, just trying to keep the community informed and abreast of what's going on here in Ambridge. Like Felicia said, we put information out today about some projects that Columbia Gas has coming on here in the borough this summer. So, like I said, like us and keep in the loop.
Great. Now, Joe, you're new to Ambridge. When did you start here?
I started here on December 1st. So I've been here for 3 months.
3 months.
3 months.
So I guess, you know what, before we go into this, I guess what broke the internet yesterday, I want to know, what color was the dress to you? Was it blue or was it brown? Or white and brown?
See, I saw like white and gold.
White and gold.
So what does that mean?
I don't know. I was thinking about that. Like, you know.
I was afraid. Yeah. I saw like, what's that mean? I was like, uh-oh.
The dress is actually blue.
See, I didn't see blue.
Yeah. Blue and black. My husband and I, we both saw white and gold. And then our son saw blue and black. So I don't know. Maybe he's like.
I'm appreciative that you saw white and gold, so we're on the same page.
Well, but I know that was the important question that was on everybody's mind. So now you know that Joe thinks like half of you. Yeah, it was white and gold. All right, now Joe, you came here. You've been here for 3 months.
Yes.
All right. I want to know when you first came here. But yeah, before I go into that, anybody who's watching us right now, if you click on here, it says join the conversation, click on there and you can go ahead and start sending us questions and we'll answer them at the end of the broadcast. All right. And we have a little bit of technical difficulties. You should be able to hear me, but we're having a couple technical difficulties. And just to let you know, there's a delay.
No, we're back.
All right, so we're back, and you'll see if you run into anything, just check out the YouTube version of this afterwards. But if you have questions, please send them in, and Joe will be able to answer them at the end of this broadcast. Sure. Okay, so Joe, what led you to apply for the Ambridge Borough position?
I saw the opening. I'll be honest with you. I saw the opening for the position of Borough Manager. I have a profession. I've been a municipal manager now for 10 years.
Okay.
I come here from a small town outside of Pittsburgh, the borough of Heidelberg in Allegheny County, and I worked for Carnegie before I was in Heidelberg. With my interest in Ambridge, keep it simple, I saw the position, the opening. I knew the history of the borough in relationship to like old economy, American bridge, and I always was fascinated by it. So I thought, this could be a nice project. An interesting community to work for. They have some challenges that I think would allow me to grow professionally, and hopefully they can gain from my experience.
Okay, so you know, I'm going to touch on the challenges. Mm-hmm. I'm curious, before you even got here, what did you see were some of the challenges that Ambridge faced? I
think, to be honest with you, a lot of the challenges that, you know, an outsider seeing is probably the same things that you know, the residents see who've been here every day. It's like when you come to Ambridge, you see we need some help on Merchant Street. Our roads are in bad condition, and that relates to a financial side of the community. So we see there is a need to push for more grant projects, capital budgeting, and try to see what we can do to balance a budget to provide quality municipal services at a decent tax rate within our means, while, you know, improving our infrastructure.
Okay. So what's your vision of Ambridge then? My
vision for Ambridge is actually twofold. You know, that's a question that's like short term and long term. In the short term, I think there's some stuff that we're trying to do right now is just being a lot of proactive efforts from the local government. and also just with that proactivity is trying to just improve our image. I know like everyone follows the negative news, but there is a good bit of positive news that come out of here, and that goes back to our earlier comment about Facebook and our efforts trying to put out some positive news releases on just what's going here. We're not trying to spin anything. It's just trying to, hey, this is what's actually going on in your community, and I don't think people totally comprehend or realize what's going on in Ambridge. You know, if it wasn't for the Ambridge connection, I don't think that would be even out there at all. So I'm grateful for, you know, for YouTube and helping that. So short term, I think is let's get proactive with code enforcement, which we have, and we can get into that here in a little bit. Try to improve our image, and we're doing that through Facebook, social media. GitHub is a new program. I bet you'll probably touch on that. We're updating our website. Our newsletter went out actually this week, so people should be having it by the end of this week or next. We're trying to get our financial house in order. We have a short-term project, you know, that would try to punch out a good bit of our road projects through a Pennsylvania Infrastructure Bank loan that we just got acquired to do a big substantial road project this year. So that's a short term for 2015. Long term is let's try to improve the overall image in relationship to Merchant Street and clean up our central business district. With that, I just did a grant application this week that is going up to Beaver County Economic Development. We're seeking a 5-year plan to seek $3.6 million that would reconstruct and do a streetscape project on Merchant Street between 4th and 8th Streets. So I think long-term goal and vision is improve our downtown. If we have a healthy, thriving downtown, that spills over in multiple facets. It improves our image because our downtown is our face. So we improve that downtown. We improve the image of the community. More people want to bring their business here, live here, shop here. So that's our goal there. And we actually, the Borough Council and Mayor has been very active with that. And with that, like I said, we just submitted a grant application for $3.6 million that will advance that. It's an interesting project. The council did a conceptual study in 2005 that they got grant money for, and that basically put like a rough blueprint together of what we want to see as a community for Merchant Street, and that was like improve all the sidewalks, improve the street trees, decorative lighting, get rid of the overhead electrical lines that feed our current street lights. Just a nice streetscape project facelift, similar to what they did in the historic district back in 2004, 2005. So I think that's a nice project that the council's pushing forward.
That's going to move all throughout Merchant Street from 4th on up, or
right now, like that grant application was targeted to that conception from 4th to 8th Street. 4th to 8th Street. Okay. All right.
But it sounds like you have a lot of things you want to do for 2015.
Yes.
Okay, but and I know one of the hot topics right now that it's all over social media is the building across the street. Okay, Alou, so pay attention. He's going to give us some inside information. So, this party is real big. Let's start with the grocery store.
The grocery store is actually an interesting subject right now. That when Bottom Dollar closed and Aldi's took them over, Aldi's is in the process of taking ownership of. I think everyone in the community is aware of that. With that, we reached out to Aldi's in late December. The Borough Council put a really nice effort forward in a letter to Aldi saying, hey, there's a desire to have an affordable grocery store in Ambridge. What can we do to advance that? The borough is ready to advance whatever means we can have to leverage support to bring an Aldi's or whatever type of affordable grocery equal to the Bottom Dollar back to Ambridge. So Aldi's was very responsive. They called the office back and said, we got your letter, we understand your desire, I'm familiar with the site. These were good positive things that we were hearing. That is, we really have no directive on what we're going to do with the property until we have actually own it. with that, they don't propose to actually have ownership of the property until March, first quarter 2015. So I think we're on the same page earlier in the year. So earlier this week, it was Monday, Tuesday, I reached out to all these again just to say, hey, I want to get a follow-up where we are. We're getting close to March. March is next week. Where are you at? We want to know what's going on. And with that, they keep saying that we are not in a position to make any announcements on any door until flood control. So it kind of forced us into a neutral position. Well, then I put back and said, hey, word on the street is that in the city of Pittsburgh, you guys already made a deal with having all these coming here. There was another store. She says, no, we have not had any discussions with that. That is not from the Aldi's chain. So with that, I think you have a lot of rumors going around, but right from the horse's mouth at Aldi's, in the vice president's office for this district, there's no decision made on any disposition or future development of those stores until they have site control, which will be hopefully, within the next month. So hopefully we can come back and report back to you guys so we know what's going on. I know I feel the frustration as everyone. They kind of took away a nice asset in the community and tied our hands.
Right.
It's private real estate. It's their bat and ball. It can be a play when we can help leverage things, but they're not at that stage yet. So hopefully, like I said, within the back.
Wonderful. So what's been going on in the community? Everybody's thinking that the borough isn't communicating. They just sent a letter and that was it. And you're telling us that you called them, you spoke with them, and you've been aggressively pursuing answers.
Yeah.
So that's a big plus. So all of you that are on social media that are out there talking about how the borough's not doing anything, not only did they write a letter, they called, they got an answer back, and that's wonderful.
Yeah, and we actually even met with Phil Safran, who
cool difficulties. It happens. Internet issues. Everybody's following that stuff in the news. That's a whole nother conversation we're not going to talk about unless you want to talk about neutrality. Okay, nope, he doesn't want to go there, and we're not going to go there, but I'm curious. I'm looking for a conversation on that. So anybody want to go into detail and a discussion on the internet stuff, I am all for it. But right now, we're back here. Just for the ones who are tuning in right now, I'm with Joe Cower, the Ambridge Manager. He just let us know about Bottom Dollar and how he and the council and the mayor have been aggressively pursuing an answer, trying to get, I guess the answer you're getting is they don't have site
control, ownership of the property.
Yeah.
It's still retained by the former Bottom Dollar chain.
Okay. Now, can you go on? You were talking about Shop and Save, the owner?
Oh, yes. So the council has also reached out to Phil Safran, who I guess has had a long-standing success in the area, to see what his interest would be in the property. And there was discussions with Phil as well. But I think there was a setback because Bottom Dollar, while they were in the process of selling the property, sold all the assets inside. So right now what we have is a shell of a grocery store. All the coolers are gone, the shelves are gone. So it's going to make it difficult, going forward.
Okay. Now, what have you pursued others, other grocery stores, grocery chains, any other type of businesses to come into that building?
In regards to the Bottom Dollar?
The Bottom Dollar.
No, I think we were trying to stick with the Aldi's and the local grocer. I think until we have a directive on what the actual property owner is going to do, I think that's out of our bounds.
Okay. And just because I've been given this before, we used to have a food land here. I know that building had other people interested in that building. Have you guys looked at any of the past requests about buying the food land and maybe reaching out to those owners who were interested in buying that property, letting them know that there's a new building here?
We'll be sure to reach out to anyone who has an interest in it to see what the borough can actually do.
Okay. All right. So we're looking for site control. So once we know about site control, then they'll be able to release a little bit more information on us, to us.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's move over to something a little more positive. I saw construction has started already with the new hotel coming here, Cobblestone Hotel.
Yeah, it's
All right.
exciting.
Tell me about your feelings, and especially, I'm going to quote Dave Janowski. He said it's going to dress up the whole town.
I agree.
What do you think?
Yeah, the chief, he's on the same page.
Yeah.
So, one thing's nice about that project, they started about 2 weeks ago putting the erosion and sedimentation control devices. That's that black sock around the property to control that. So everyone saw that go in about 2 weeks ago, and then on Tuesday of this week they started breaking ground. I think it's going to be, like Dave says, a really nice facelift for the community. I think everyone's been seeing this redevelopment brownfield zone coming forward across the street, but this is the real, besides the grocery store who kind of took one step forward, one step back, this is another step forward that hopefully can be a cornerstone to push more continued development and reuse of that property down New Economy Drive.
Right. Now, I've seen real estate signs go up all along that side road.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know of any other interest that has happened with that area?
Yeah, I know that earlier in 2014, there was a proposal from A.M. Rodriguez. He's a developer from the Pittsburgh area who has done substantial development in Homestead. People remember him. He was a QED special about the project he did in Homestead on 8th Avenue. It was an apartment building. He applied for state tax credits for that property over there to build a multi-unit senior citizen high-rise with some like townhomes around it. Mm-hmm. He got denied his tax credits in 2014. He reapplied for his tax credits in 2015. The state is to make a decision by the end of March, early April on his tax credits. And talking to the developer who owns the New Economy Business Park, if A.M. Rodriguez gets the tax credits, hopefully, let's keep our fingers crossed. Yeah. If those tax credits go through, there's a good chance that that development will be breaking ground by the end of the year. But everything's contingent on those tax credits being leveraged. So I think that's a program that garners a lot of political support, and I know a lot of people in departments and organizations in the Valley have been very supportive of A.M. Rodriguez, including Community Development of Beaver County, Representative Matsey's office. So there's a lot of support now behind A.M. Rodriguez. So I think if he can get those tax credits, the momentum now will just carry forward.
Right. The new Ambridge, I'm hoping by 2016 we have a lot of new development. That's what it sounds like.
And not so much development. We're an older town, pretty much 100% built up. We're reusing it. This is smart development. We're not taking virgin ground or farms in a lot of our neighboring municipalities. We're reusing stuff that has already been used and reinventing the cycle of life for those properties so that we're a sustainable growth. We're not putting new infrastructure. We're not burdening our road system. So reinvesting in an existing community is a little bit harder financially sometimes than what you have to do to get rid of old buildings, remediate the past, but it makes sense long term versus creating this donut of everyone just moving out and away from our urban cores such as Ambridge in the Beaver County area.
Okay. I do have a question though. The housing unit is going to be a senior high rise?
That's what's been explained to us, and the borough has supported. The borough council has attested, its support to A.M. Rodriguez and sent letters of support to the state to support the issuance of the tax credits. But it's been explained as senior citizen high rise, so it would support senior citizen living in the community.
One of the things I constantly hear is the income level in Ambridge, and they say that it's a lot of Section 8 housing here, a lot of renters here, and the other thing that I think is a very strong argument is that the amount of senior citizens that are on a budgeted amount. How do you think that affects the community growing?
It's a hurdle we have to work over. I don't think it's something we have to turn our eye to. This is something that, as the borough, we need to acknowledge, accept, and help people with. According to the 2010 census, 22.7%, I believe, of Ambridge was below the poverty level. People that accept assistance to pay their gas bill with Columbia Gas is approximately 37%. So we're talking a substantial amount of this community is hurting. There is a number of social services in our area that I don't know if people know of or realize that's here to help people. From the borough, there's grant money that can help leverage growth and infrastructure projects based on our needs of our community. For example, last month's council meeting, council authorized me to submit a grant application to reconstruct Hazel Avenue. It's up off of Beaver Road. And to be eligible for that project, 51% of the households on Hazel have to be of low or moderate income. We did a household survey of the responses we received. We were over the 51 percentile of the 30 approximate families on that road. So we submitted a grant for it's like $114,000 to redo that road. So granted, you don't want to see anyone hurting, but if it's done appropriately, there's avenues that the Commonwealth and the federal government has available for communities such as ours to advance, public services and advance improvements to our infrastructure.
So I would imagine, once those things get improved, you're looking to attract more and higher income people into the area.
Yes, I think so. I think, to be honest with you, what it comes down to is just support what we have. You want everyone to feel at home within the community. You don't want to discriminate or make people feel that they need to make a certain amount of money to be an attractive citizen. I don't think that's a right attitude to have. I think everyone has their place in our society. And with that, I think with growth and investment in our community comes a multiple of chain reactions. When there's a lot of investment in the community itself, that results in increased property values. Increased property values tend to lend to higher incomes families investing in those properties. It makes sense economically. With that does bring workers in, jobs equal taxes. More tax revenue equals improved public services and public amenities.
Wonderful.
These aren't very short-term
No.
fixes, but these are long-term, everyone working as a collective effort. And that doesn't mean just your council members. That's council staff and the citizens. And the citizens play a very important role in this.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I like this. I think that you seem like you're very open and you're willing to answer us, and you keep the boundaries very clear, like what's borough related, and you answer those things. And I appreciate that.
That's why I can't answer on the internet.
Yeah. Well, no. So what we also have, I'm just going to go back a little bit. Let's swing it back around. Civic engagement. We have the Github. We have the borough website. Obviously, you have the phones here. They're always there. People can call at any time.
Helpful gals there.
Helpful gals at the front desk. We have, what other ways are you asking the community to connect with you? Because I know a lot of people, they don't come to the borough meetings. You only have so many seats in there. And I've seen it packed before and standing room only, but you can't get, 7,000 people in there to share their,
That may be a sick day for me.
But what ways would you like the community to connect with you? Because you said citizens are important.
I think the big thing here is just making sure we have a line of communication where the citizens feel that when they call the borough office or they make a complaint or they express their desires, that they're listened to. It's very simple. You want people to feel that they're being answered to and respected. I don't want people to call here and think they're just talking on dead ears. We'll be very open. We'll be responsive. We'll do what we can to work with you. That's a two-way street, And I think let's just keep things simple. The borough has opened up a lot of new wave communication channels, such as Github, and I think we can get into that. Facebook is our way of getting the word out. You can go on the website, get all our email addresses. I'm jmcower@ambridgeborough.org. You can call the office. We answer the phones, or, Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. Leave a message. Someone will get back to you. I even get old school letters sometimes.
Nice.
Usually they're not nice lately.
So what I hear is Joe wants some more mail. So please email or send him the U.S. snail mail type
we get the
letters,
and we'll respond, and we'll see what we can do to help.
Well, the thing is that now you're starting to use Github. Now Github is a way that if somebody wanted to send a letter, they don't know if you're actually reading it. They don't know if you're actually responding to it. And if somebody calls here, the public doesn't know what's being said. Now with GitHub, are you looking for that to replace those systems so people can see that this one answer?
No.
Okay.
GitHub was put together, I think most people know by now, is by one of our residents, Chad Whitaker. He's a software developer, very smart man, and he presented this proposal to do this program here in Ambridge. The council president was very open to it, and Chad came and presented to council, and we got it off the ground. GitHub seems to be like a shared to-do list where everyone can post their concerns and have a level of involvement. Now, there's sometimes you open a ticket where you put in your express your thought, your desire, your issue, that you're not going to get a municipal response from, because sometimes they don't really involve us. But the issues that involve the local government, we've been very apt to answer and respond to.
Okay.
I think what that goes to see is that we want to show that sometimes the channels of just government, that isn't local government, but all levels, has layers and channels that we have to follow that are procedural. So someone made a expression about there's a need for traffic signals to be improved on Route 988. 989.
3 months. You gotta give
8th Street, Dunce Avenue.
Okay. You're trying.
Okay. So we had a dialogue with Representative Matsey, that same week, and I just copy and pasted my letter to Representative Matsey into there. So we just added a level of transparency and say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Citizen, we're working for you. We're trying. This is what we have going on. This is what we're doing. We're on the same page as you. We're thinking what you see as an issue, we do too. Right. And I think that's where a lot of people are disconnected with the local government, where they think, oh, there's this wall that, they live in a perfect world, and they don't see the issues in the community that the citizens do. We see it. We have the same frustrations, and we want to do what we can to help.
Yeah. Well, I like what you said earlier today, that some of the issues are not short term; they're long term. There's years in the making, and it takes a lot of planning now to be able to get to that point.
Yes.
Just like this hotel, I don't even remember how many years it's been in thought. I think it was like almost 10 years they've been thinking about it, and now it's finally the grounds were broken on Tuesday. So with this GitHub, and just for those who don't know what GitHub is, it is like you said, a tracking program, like a shared to-do list. And you can go on to the Borough website, the Borough Facebook page. You can go on the Ambridge Connection. You'll be able to find links to github.com and just search for Ambridge, I would imagine, correct?
Yes.
And when you're on there, you can go ahead and type in that, hey, there's a street light not working on my street, or what's happening with the grocery store. Yeah. Now, if GitHub was in place when all that went on, we wouldn't have had all these social media conversations going back and forth saying the borough's not doing anything, because Joe could have been able to get on, right in there that, yes, I did contact them. And today, guess what? They called me back. And until they have site control, we can't do anything. So please stay tuned to that. So that's another way of using that tracking system for the community. Allows another form of civic engagement. So you're all citizens, so we have to get engaged somehow to make this town what we want it to be.
That's it. Yeah.
So now I do. Do you have any other things you want to talk about with GitHub?
No, I think we got the point across about GitHub. It's a shared to-do list. The borough is participating. The borough will respond. Sometimes there isn't a response that we can offer because it's not a borough program. It's a community-based program. It's not a borough initiative. This is an initiative that's put together by the citizens. And we said, hey, we see what you're doing, we like it, we're going to participate.
Terrific.
So this isn't us putting GitHub out, this is you giving GitHub to us.
Well, thank you, Chad Whitaker, for doing that. If you're watching, we appreciate your efforts and citizenship and getting the community engaged. I also wanted to thank you for the borough has been very receptive to Ambridge Connection as well. You know, they give us information so we can share it out with our readers. So I wanted to thank you with that. And it sounds like, you know, if you have a good idea and it's going to work in the community, come talk to the borough. They're willing to listen. And if it's something that's going to work with all of us, they'll put it out there.
Yeah, we're all stakeholders.
We are all stakeholders. We all have some stake in this community. I love it. I can't. Very, very nice. All right. So is there anything new that you know, or was that the other thing was the
Rodriguez was number three, so
number three was
everyone keep their fingers crossed, say a prayer, and hope we can get those tax credits that are good developable dollars here in Ambridge that will bring positive growth and change.
Terrific. If you guys have any questions, please go ahead and send that to us now. I'm going to spend a couple more minutes with Joe. Is there anything else going on here? I know that code enforcement has been one of the hot tickets here in Ambridge. Everybody's talking about how the stores on Merchant Street look like storage units. What's going on with code enforcement?
Code enforcement is
oh, and also just to interrupt you, I'm so sorry about that, but the buildings that are needing to be brought down, you know, those are other things that the community is dying to know what's going on.
We can touch on all that.
Okay, great.
Code enforcement goes hand in hand with your comment earlier about short and long term. Short term, the borough has been active over the past 2 months in being proactive with code enforcement. We started code sweeps is what I call it, where like a policeman, I send the code officer out on designated patrols or zones to say, hey, look for visual issues in the community. Here in the wintertime, it's like junk cars, debris on a porch, garbage out on a day that isn't trash day, broken windows, that kind of stuff that the code officer is going out every week and being proactive and sending out notices to those property owners trying to get them into compliance. A lot of people have acknowledged receipt of the code officer's first round of letters, and it's starting to get things. I mean, more people to be more responsive. Granted, there's a lot of people that slip through the cracks and will end up going to certified mailings and then in turn issuing the citations and taking them to the district court. But we've got very proactive with code sweeps. We set up different zones that kind of follow the trash route. If everyone saw the schedule the borough put out years ago on what day is trash day in the community, there's like an orange zone, blue zone, red zone. So once a week we set up a zone. Like this week I think was the yellow zone, and Deontay has to hit every single street on the yellow zone, get a summary back to us, and he's been very productive with that. He's been working in concert with the police department to share issues of expired vehicles that are on the street to the police department, because that's an avenue that's cared for by the police department, not the code officer. So the police and the code officer are working collectively. We're hitting the streets being proactive with just routine code enforcement. With that, I think a lot of people, if I could pass the message on, get these first round of code letters, because we've had a lot going out within the past month. And everyone first thinks, oh, my neighbor turned me in. I knew it was him. And we want the people in the community to know that we're out there, we're doing our job. The code officer is being active. We're not being reactive to, following up on the reaction side. We want to be very proactive and hopefully nip a lot of people's complaints before they get too bad and people get frustrated and they come to council meetings, because a lot of that can be done proactively from the administrative side. So that's where we are with code letters. In regards to Merchant Street, the storage on the first floor is a zoning matter. The borough has a committee that receives funding from Beaver County through the Rivertown program to advance zoning changes, try to leverage streetscape improvements. That's what we talked about earlier. There's a recommendation from that committee that's going to come actually to our March council meeting and present zoning recommended changes to council. And one of that is a prohibition of storage on the first floor of the commercial district, which is Merchant Street. So there's going to be an action probably pending on council to authorize getting a planner in, or the solicitor to prepare an amendment to our zoning ordinance that would prohibit storage on the first floor. So the borough has a procedure in step in process right now through our downtown committee, who put a recommendation, and they're actually on the agenda at our March meeting on the 10th at 7 o'clock to present.
March 10th, 7 o'clock. You're going to hear the presentation on zoning and first floor ordinances, correct?
Usage on a first floor in the commercial district, and I think everyone's eyes is to storage and stuff like that.
All right, that's wonderful. So then, I hope to see you guys all March 10th.
Yeah. And then your last question of the three was in regard to the buildings that are in poor condition on Merchant Street. We're very fortunate that we have a fire department that does fire code enforcement. So with that, they take their job a little beyond the traditional firemen, and they serve in a capacity in the code enforcement side. So within the past month, the fire chief and the assistant fire chief went down and they took aerial photographs of some of the buildings on Merchant Street that we all knew were bad, but I don't think we realized how bad they were, because the facades, when you go down the street, looked okay, but no one really saw the actual condition of the building. And I think there's 6 or 7 buildings where we need a lot of help. Roofs have collapsed on some of them. Some are in conditions where I don't know how easy, or not even the word easy, if they're able to be rebuilt. With that, we took the first step. We don't want to tear down buildings. We know that once they're gone, they're gone. We don't want Merchant Street to look like busted teeth, you know, so we want to work to see what we can do. There's one building at 451 Merchant Street that we did submit a grant application for this month to have torn down. The building is across from PNC Bank. It's the 3 or 4 story large building that's it's all boarded up to the top. The fire chief has advised through aerial photography that the roof has collapsed basically into the first floor. So you had second floor collapse and you know the subsequent.
Oh, I remember walking down the street and being able to look right up through, just look up and you can see the sky through the roof. That building's between let's see, Cafe Frappe and Pizza, Vocelli's Pizza. So there's a large building there, and it's all boarded up right now. It looks great boarded up. The boards, all the artists out there, I already know you all want to paint it, but I'm glad that you guys are looking at grabbing a grant. So you're looking to tear it down, you said?
Yeah. So what we did is we submitted a grant application for $38,000 to tear it down. We're going after that one because we feel that building is the severest public safety hazard on Merchant Street. So we prioritized that one to tear down. What makes it difficult is the county has a county-wide demolition list. However, the money that the county allocates for that list is small. The size of the commercial buildings on Merchant Street are so large that it would exhaust all the money in their program on one building. So the county has advised us that we need to make separate grant application outside of the region, outside of the county demo program. So we worked with the fire department to say, hey, which one's the worst? Which one's the most hazardous? What are you afraid of? And their recommendation was 451 Merchant Street. The property owner a number of years back gave authorization and a right for the building to be raised. So we're moving forward with that building. Unique in our grant application, it's small. Our goal is hopefully to have the property redeveloped or marketable so that someone could build on it, you know, in the future. But just so like we didn't have that busted teeth look in our grant application, we made sure that there's a pad up front for like a bench, a trash can, and put some trees there. So when you drive down Merchant Street, it's not catching your eye. It looks like it fits in like a parklet. Okay. So
instead of a vacant lot.
Yeah. So we're trying to make it look like something. Now, granted, there's trees in that bench that can be yanked if someone wants to build there, but we just want to have it so that when we're raising, we're beautifying at the same time. Now, like I said earlier, there's 6 or 7 other buildings that are in very bad condition. we started code enforcement efforts on one of them. And the other ones, I have a meeting with Beaver County Community Development next Wednesday to sit down with their commercial development or specialist to say, hey, we need your help. You're the experts. You have the money. What can we do to remedy this? Beaver County has much at stake as Ambridge Borough does. They're a taxing body, so we need to work together with the county officials to bring about results here.
All right.
And a solution. Now,
just because I know this is one that always gets mentioned in conversations, there's a building right next to the ice cream shop on 4th Street. Is that one of the
420? What's it? Used to be a tuxedo shop.
Used to be a tuxedo shop.
Yeah, we're familiar with it.
I just want to know what it's BAS something.
Oh, yeah, I know.
But tuxedo shop definitely. Is that level of importance? Is that high up there?
It's very high.
Terrific.
It's identified on the list of the couple buildings that are in deplorable conditions that we're going to meet with Beaver County next week.
Yeah, because I know from speaking with some of the business owners on the Merchant Street, they want to, for those of you who do not know, we have a grant program that will allow a lot of businesses to change the facade. That's the front of their building, to make it beautiful. Go and check out Unabella Salon. They were able to get a facade money there, and they redid the entire front of their store. And also go inside of that shop. It's amazing. But check out the front of Unabella. It's beautiful. And imagine if all the businesses on Merchant Street were able to take advantage of that program. Well, now I asked a couple businesses why they don't. If you look at some of the buildings down there, well, what was the number again? The tuxedo one?
I think it's 420.
420. If you look at the tuxedo one next to the 4th Street, that building looks like it's going to come down any day now. People don't want to change their buildings because they're worried that my building smashed between two buildings that need to be removed. You can see the sky through the roof. People don't want to upgrade or change the facade because they are worried about those buildings. So it's refreshing to hear that code enforcement, police enforcement, fire department, that everybody's working together to look at different layers of code enforcement. I just want to thank you for that. Honestly, that's
the council is the persons to thank.
The council, the mayor, the borough manager. I'm thanking you for getting involved with this as well, because we needed a strong leadership within here. We have a great council. Our elected officials are wonderful, and I thank you guys for all listening to these and making decisions. So March 10th, when the council gets together and finally it pushes it through, I'm hoping they do, we will personally thank them there as well.
And then the last thing we want to push from code enforcement is that we just want people's cooperation and patience, because sometimes code enforcement is a slow process. When a citation's issued, sometimes it ends up at the district court level, and sometimes that results in a drawn-out procedure that people see that nothing's being done. But in the meantime, there is efforts being done by the borough and the code officer to bring in a property to compliance. It's just there's things that are outside of what we can do that kind of people think the borough's dropped the ball. But in all reality, a lot of the time, the borough has gone as far as they can, and it's people higher up the food chain that sometimes slow the process down.
Well, I think this is where thanking you comes into play, because sometimes it's they think the borough may be dropping the ball, but when we have a borough manager here, they can share information like you're doing right now. Yeah. You're sharing the information that a lot of us investors have questions about, and there's a good percentage of people out here who understand there's a process and it takes time. It's not going to happen next week. It's not going to happen next month. That it could be, a year down the road, 6 months down the road. I mean, take a look at Brooks, and also the building that was on fire in July. It's just now getting down, and it's 7-8 months later. It's now finally gone. Yeah.
I think if we could have people, if they are concerned, call the office, ask questions, and whatever documents we have, we'll be happy to share. And if we did drop the ball, we'll pick it up and run. You just got to tell us, what's going on.
So it sounds like you have a grant writing background. Mm-hmm. All right. And I think I just want to thank the council members who were on the committee to hire him. Thank you for making sure we had everything that we needed in a borough manager. Because I think having someone who's able to write grants in any community is a big plus.
Yeah, because what we need, especially here in Ambridge, is that our budget is very stretched. To do anything outside of operations is very difficult for the community. So we need to look at any grant program we have available to us to stretch the tax dollars. Because without the grant funds, our capital funds are very minimal that won't allow a lot of positive, noticeable change within the borough.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much for that. Now, we touched on the buildings that are on Merchant Street. Now, I saw a few homes that are being demolished as well. Is the borough involved with any of those?
There was a home on Dust Avenue that I saw was being demolished that wasn't have any involvement from the borough. There really isn't any demos scheduled from the borough on the residential side. I know that there's 2 homes that are scheduled to be raised in the borough this summer as part of the county-wide demolition project. And a lot of that was initiated by code enforcement efforts of the past to get them on the county demo list and to get the money here. So I know there's a fire damage building on Olive Lane that I saw myself that is scheduled to be torn down this year, and I think there's another one on Locust, I believe, that is to come down this year on the residential side using the county grant funds.
All right, terrific. All right, so I do have another question for you. Sewer lines and Old Economy Village. Can you share any information on that?
I think from the borough side is the borough is fortunate where we do have a separate municipal authority. The municipal authority has its own governing board and directors and officers. It's totally separate from the borough government itself, your council and mayor. I'm not privy to that information. I think we can go over and ask, but it comes down to I'm not part of that project.
All right. We can go over and ask, and I think that's the key with this meeting today. Anything that you have questions on, it sounds like the borough is very open to all of it. They have the council meetings. They're asking you to come on down to the council meetings, second Tuesday of every month.
Yeah, and same thing with municipal authorities and the water authority. They both have separate boards that are made up of Ambridge residents that are appointed by council. They're your neighbors and friends. All our meetings, including the authority boards, are posted on the calendar on the website. Feel free to frequent it and attend those boards as well. Your voice at those authority board meetings are just as important as they are at a borough council meeting.
Terrific. So I hear, and I'm going to walk out of here knowing that we're powerful. The citizens in this community are powerful, and all you have to do is ask. Come out. If you can't make it here to the borough meetings, you can call. You can jump online. You can hit on their Facebook. You can send them messages everywhere you can. But understand that your voice matters and it counts. And we thank you for your leadership that you've have demonstrated so far here. And it's more, I think it's just directional, helping move people around. I don't, I'm not trying to insult anyone in the past, but there's been a
they have a nice workforce here. The people should be happy of their what the council has put together historically as for the makeup of the staff. There's a well-trained fire department, a very qualified and community-oriented police department. The office staff are always willing and able. The Onte's getting active and hitting the streets. The public works guys have been very community minded, and they're taking pride in their work. They're doing the best they can, and I think as a team we're very fortunate to have a really nice collective group of wonderful people that work and call the Borough of Ambridge the borough home.
Terrific. Thank you again, Joe, for joining us today. I was hoping you were going to get some questions sent in, but you know what? For the ones who are watching this later on, share it with someone else. Share it with someone who's in the community asking questions, because having the knowledge is power, and that's the only way that we're going to move together. I love the fact that we're working together collectively. It sounds like you're working with all the organizations, and the borough is the one who, our elected officials, our borough, our police, our firemen, all those people are working here for us, and we thank you.
Yeah, keep it simple. We're here for you.
They're here for us, and always call. All right. All righty. Thank you. And I'm going to sign off now. And you know what, before you go, do you have anything else you want to say?
No, just thank you for allowing me the privilege to serve.
All right, great. We'll check back in with Joe, and please, send your comments, put them down in the YouTube video, send it to us on Ambridge Connection. We'll get them over here to Joe as well. All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.